Today's video is aimed at beginners, and with army painting in mind. I'll be going over 3 different schemes as fast and easy as possible, so you can get right into gaming. For the classic gold scheme, I wanted to show you something different, so I began with an overall base coat of all gold for something a bit more antique. For the shadows, I used a mix of black and turquoise ink, which gave me a slight greenish tone which will resemble more ancient gold. I made sure to dilute the inks with water a good bit. Once the first coat was dried, another one was applied to reach my desired level of tinting as well as of darkness on the recesses. For the Shadow Keeper, I also wanted to do something different for the black armor, so I decided to mix some gold into the black. This would keep the shadows black while giving me natural metallic highlights with a hint of gold. For the Solar Watch, I tried doing something similar, and while I did get a creamy tone, the metallic flakes did not come into play too much, so all in all, any off-white will work the same. To define the recesses of the Shadow Keeper, I diluted black ink and applied it as a wash so to make sure my recesses would be pure black, though feel free to use your preferred choice for washing, as long as it's black. For the Solar Watch, I chose brown, and this did stain the base coat quite a bit. However, this won't be a problem in the long run. What really matters is to get the dark color in the deep recesses so to define each shape from one another. To finish up the armors, I just dry brushed them all around, by removing most of the paint against a paper towel. As I flick my brush back and forth, paint would only catch on the raised details, and leave the shadows I previously worked on untouched. Dry brushing is an easy but messy way of highlighting, so it is often better done first so as to avoid getting paint in undesired places. A second pass with a more pale gold was done afterwards, though I should have removed a bit more paint from my brush since in the end this ended up overpowering the previous coat. For the Shadow Keeper, I again mixed something similar to the base tone to counteract the light staining the wash caused, and like with the previous model, followed it up with another round, but this time with a pinch more gold and removing more paint from my brush. Here you can have a look at how, depending on the light, different black parts reflect the golden flakes. For the Solar Watch, I went back to my creamy mix of white and gold, and my aim was to just leave the dark recesses visible, having as little light brown as possible. Adding even more white and removing more paint from my brush, I did another round of dry brushing, like with the other models. With the armor finished, that's most of the model done. The next step is to apply the corresponding base coats, and when it came to the raised details of the armor, I followed this process. Worked the paint into my brush, but made sure I didn't have too much. Twist and pull to get a nice tip, and not by pointing but by placing my brush sideways, gently went over, only catching the raised details. To paint the gems, I began with a base coat of dark blue. Then I painted the bottom half with a 50-50 mix of it and turquoise. With pure turquoise, I painted the very bottom of the gem. And with pure white, painted a little dot to represent the light reflection. For the energy weapons, I used the same colors as the gems. I simply blended the colors, slowly moving towards the tip. I'll be leaving you with a minute-long footage of me doing this, so you can see it is not that difficult. just a matter of trying it out. If at any point you need to fix your transitions, dilute your paint, remove the excess and apply a thin coat to blend it. And just like with the raised details of the armor, with the side of my brush I employed the more whitish tones to edge highlight the sides, as well as to create a gradient over the details in the middle. Thank you for watching. I hope the video was both helpful and entertaining. Special thanks to my patrons Caleb and Cedric. If you want to find out what I'll be working on next, you can do so for free over on Patreon. If you think the video deserves a like, comment or even subscription, that'll help me a lot. But that'll be it for this week. Hope to see you again the next one.